Hi everybody, this is Jessica the Book Art Goddess, and I am excited because I am here to do a January wrap-up. I haven't done one of these in a while because last year my reading piles were just too small. I had a couple of good months, but it wasn't enough to talk about. So I'm back. Hopefully I'll be more consistent this year and keep up with it. So let's get started. I read 14 books. I am so excited and so proud of myself. I'm just like, yay! One of those books I didn't finish, and that was Bella Forrest's The Last Dragon Slayer. I got probably over halfway through. I probably had about 60-some pages left to go, and I just couldn't read it anymore. I just was not into this book. This book was just not for me. It was a YT book club pick, and I love dragons, so I thought, oh yeah, I'm so there. And I picked it up, I read it, or started reading it, and I thought, oh, this is awful. I can't read anymore. And I know a lot of people liked it. It just was not for me. I'm going to try to get it on audio for my son, because I think it's something he would enjoy. And maybe together in a different format, I might like it better. Because sometimes I do like audiobooks when I can't read the book itself. And I listen to an audiobook, it being in a different format and somebody else reading it and somebody else giving the imagery, I can kind of get into it better. So maybe in a different format, I'll like it better. I did receive 2 review books from authors, and I'm so very grateful and thankful that they actually liked my reviews and enough to send me a copy of their book and ask me to review them. The first review book that I got was A Shade of Vampire by Bella Forrest. It was adorable. I enjoyed this book. I mean, how vampires have always been my thing, so I just have always enjoyed reading about them. And it's so hard to read a unique vampire story that reading this was just really cute. I enjoyed it. It was different. It was unique. I hadn't really read a lot of vampires books like that. I mean, of course, it still has your typical characteristics, your typical vampire, blood drinkers, that type of thing. But just the difference that she puts into it, the unique spin she puts onto it, the characters that she writes, made me really enjoy this book. I could really relate to these characters. I could really picture them in my mind. I could picture the place that they live, all that stuff. And I don't want to tell you too much because I don't want to give anything away. But it was just a really unique spin, and you really should check her out. I think even if you don't like vampire books, I think it's unique enough that even if you don't like them, you would probably enjoy this. So even if you just see what happens, it's kind of cool. So I'm really looking forward to the second book in this series. So hopefully she'll send me a copy. And if not, I'll just have to wait and bide my time and bite my nails till I get the next book. But anyways, the next review copy I got was a Charity Santiago. I think that's how you say her last name. But Charity contacted me, super sweet author, very nice. Her book is called Return. The cover's adorable. It's so cute. And I enjoyed this book, but to be fair and to be honest, I'm rereading it. And the reason why I'm rereading this book is because I read it so fast because I was trying to read other books too, that it kind of, I think I rushed through it, and I kind of lost some of it, and I think there was parts in it that didn't make sense, because I think while I was reading, I was like in between stuff, and then at night I get so tired sometimes that as I'm reading, I'm dozing, and that my book would close or shut down, and then I'd pop the book back on and try to start reading, and I'm like, was I here? And and I think you lose stuff when you're not that focused. So I want to take a couple of days and be focused on this book. It's not a very long book, so it should only take me a couple of days really to focus in on it and read it the way I should have read it the first time. So it will be my reread, but it was really good. And I will leave her Charity's information below too, because it definitely was worth a reread, and it was definitely worth my time to be honest and fair in writing a good review on this book. Whether it's if it was something that wasn't for me or something that was for me. But what I read, I enjoyed. So I know I like this book. I just want to give it my full attention. So I'm taking a couple of days off of other books and focusing on this one. And then I read Moonlight by Tim O'Rourke. And I have to say, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it as a first novel. Some things worked for me in this book, and some things didn't. It's a werewolf book. It's not a very thick book, so it is a series. And but I did enjoy it. See, it's not very thick. It was a rather quick read. I think I read it in a few hours. And like I said, some things worked and some things didn't. Some things were very believable, and some things just, you're like, okay. Some of it just seemed a little far-fetched. But like I said, I did like it. I do plan on getting, it's supposed to be a trilogy, so I do plan on reading the second and the third book, and I'll go from there. And I think after the first and the cliffhanger, I think it has room to grow. So I do look forward to reading the next book in that series. Then, probably the biggest shock of the month was Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson and Maxine Petro, I think. This was just awesome. I loved this book. I was so shocked because I am not a huge James Patterson fan, especially not his adult series. And, his adult books are murder mysteries and, crimes books, and I'm just not into it. I just don't like it. I don't like the movies they become. It's just not for me. And I thought, oh gosh, now he's bringing his other series over to YA. And I thought, ew, gross. But I bought this for my daughter, and I thought, well, you know what? I read the back, I read the synopsis. I thought, I'll give it a try. It can't be exactly like it, so I gave it a try, and I love it. I would so recommend this to almost anyone. It's got science fiction elements in it. It kind of like his series, his YA series, Maximum Ride, has that the sci-fi aspect. But this has the sci-fi aspect with a mystery, with the crime elements to it. It is just absolutely flippin' fantastic. I don't even know what to say. This book was awesome. So I was very glad to read it, and I would definitely recommend it to other people. Another one that I absolutely loved was Kresley Cole's Poison Princess, and this was amazing. From start to finish, this book was amazing. This book is it's basically a story about a girl telling her story. Basically, what happened to her after, basically, Armageddon. It is like the world is in its last days, or Armageddon has hit, and maybe not that, or the apocalypse. Basically, they're saying apocalypse, Armageddon, whatever you want to call it, has basically hit, and now these guys are surviving and trying to figure out how to survive and maybe help humanity come back. So it's just an amazing read. I loved it. I loved it from beginning to end, and I think almost anybody will love, and anybody who's an adult, anybody who reads her adult stuff knows she's a good writer. So this was just fantastic. I love that series. Can't wait for the next one. Then I read Meg Cabot's Underworld, which this one wasn't as good as the first, but it was still a very, very good read. I think had she spread out the time period more and put more information and gave me more information, I would have enjoyed it more. But I still did enjoy this a lot, and I love Meg Cabot. She's one of my favorite authors. I just didn't like it as much as I did Abandon. But Underworld is still worth the read. Okay, then I read a series from beginning to end, and that is the Hex Hall series. It was Spellbound, which is the third, Demon Glass, which is the second, and Hex Hall, which is the first. and I just dropped my book. But I love this series. I mean, it was fun to read. It wasn't earth-shattering or mind-blowing by any means. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. I thought it, I loved the dorm style. I loved the island. I loved the witchcraft. I loved the other elements that are thrown into it. I won't give too much away. I loved who she is as a person and the different heritages she has. It just is a really good read. And I think if you're looking for something fun in YA and something unique and different, check out Hex Hall. It's just cute. I did like it. I love the ending. I like the fact that the ending was heart-wrenching in some respects, but it still ended really well. And I enjoyed the ending, and I'm glad it ended the way it did. I could have done without the heart-wrenching part, and because, let's face it, YA has enough sad endings. So, but all in all, it was a good book. Then I read the trilogy, which is Switched, Torn, and Ascend by Amanda Hawkins. And I have to say, I love this. I loved it. I know a lot of people didn't. I know a lot of people got, like, first copies of whatever, like, ebooks and different things like that, but I read it, and I couldn't really see, maybe I was just really into it, but I didn't see any major flaws, and maybe because she's got a publisher and an editor, those things were taken out that everybody was complaining about, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it went pretty well. I think I love the ending, and I like a happily ever after ending. So, because I read enough books without him, so this book just fulfilled everything I wanted it to fulfill for me. So the series was great. I thought it hit all those things I needed to read. So, and I think everybody has those times where you just need something different, and that was it for me. So, you guys, that's basically what I read this month, and now I'll let you know the worst book I read this month was, of course, Jasper Ford's Dragon series. The Last Dragon Slayer, sorry. That was the absolute worst book. The Last Dragon Slayer just did not do it for me. It was my least favorite of all the books I read this month. My favorite for the month is a tie. I have to say, Poison Princess and Confessions of a Murder Suspect, just both of them nailed it on the head for me. These are definitely rereads for soon in the future because they were that good. They may be rereads in the next few months. Who knows? I just enjoyed them so much. So I totally recommend both these books. If you guys haven't read them, you should get them. They're just awesome. And that's pretty much my wrap-up for the month. If there's any other books that you want to know more about, just let me know. I do have most of the reviews on Goodreads. My reviews are getting better. I'm trying to think more about what I'm saying. I started out with really good reviews, and now they're not so good. You know, they got to be rushed, and I don't want to rush my reviews anymore. So if you see on my Goodreads that the review isn't up yet, it's because I don't want to be rushed on my reviews anymore because I was rushing to get them out, and they were poor quality. I don't think they were reviewed as good as they should have been, or as information, with as much information as I would have liked to give without giving anything away. So guys, that's my wrap up, and I'm excited, so I will talk to you later. Bye!